good morning. It's a nice fall morning this morning, and I have a special guest with me. And before I let her introduce what she's going to do, which is, here's Cindy Krieger, my sister-in-law. And today's her birthday, by the way. So
yes.
I already wish to have...
I'm getting very old.
Nobody's getting younger.
No,
we're not getting younger.
No.
Anyway, but before we do, I just want to talk. We're going to have some desserts here that I would say that you would use on a special occasion. Like you wouldn't eat these desserts every day because they're really
fattening.
So, but you know, every once in a while you have to treat yourself well. I remember a doctor telling someone who was diabetic, just once a month, you know, you can indulge in something, then go right back on your on a kind of a diet during the week. But once in a while you have to treat yourself. So Cindy's recipes are one of those to treat yourself on a special occasion.
Yes.
But I wanted to talk a little bit about having us all try to cut a little sugar out of our diets because we use an awful lot of sugar. And one of the things that were mentioned in this Prevention magazine is the fact that people drink a lot of soda. And soda contains a lot of sugar. So we want to be careful. And in this article, it mentioned other types of sugars that you should look for when you're buying foods. And it's kind of hidden sugars. And those are barley malt, carob syrup, fruit juice concentrate, lactose, maltose, and rice bran syrup, and sorghum syrup. Have you ever heard of sorghum syrup?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Okay. And and then another thing I want to mention before we get to our wonderful desserts is the fact that breakfast is very important to eat. And the article said that you should at least have, let me see, how many calories? I think it was 300. You should at least have 300 calories. I was right. 300 calories. And those calories it could be something like Greek-style yogurt with a little bit of peanut butter, a half a cup of oatmeal with 1 cup of milk, and 2 teaspoons of peanut butter, eggs, or low-fat cheese. But get that breakfast in because that helps you, right?
It is very important.
Yes.
It's probably the most important meal of the day. It keeps you going.
Right.
All day. So it's definitely worth eating.
It is. You're right. So now I'm going to turn it over to Cindy, and she's going to give us
directions. Very good. I'm going to start out making what they call a dump cake. I never heard of it myself till probably a year ago. My sister was coming up to visit, and she cooks everything. And I said, what are you bringing? She said, I'm going to bring a dump cake. I never heard of it. So she brought it up, and we all loved it. It's all made in one pan. That's why they call it a dump cake, because you just dump everything and let it cook. And it's a very quick dessert. If, like, at the last minute you're invited somewhere and you want to take something good with you, you can make this in probably 45 minutes, the whole thing, cooked and done. So I'm going to show you what we do here. You get a can of crushed pineapple. And I'm going to pour off a little bit of the juice of this. You don't need it all. Talk about sugar. This is one way to get rid of it.
You know, Cindy, I sort of made a dump cake last year, and I forgot to show it to the people who were looking at it.
Oh.
But you know what happened? I had forgotten one ingredient, but I mixed it all together, and I baked it, and I liked it even better than what the recipe was. So sometimes mistakes can be good.
The way I make it, anyway, is that you put all the pineapple in the bottom of the pan, just like that. Just spread it out. Then you get a pie filling, any kind of pie filling. They sell it in a can in the store. They have all different ones. They have blueberry. I particularly like the apple. They have strawberry, which I made last week, and people liked that. And so they've got all kinds, so depending on what your likes are. But I bought the apple only because it's one of my favorite.
It's good now. It's fall, so that's a good fall dish.
And the same thing, you put it in the pan, you just spread it all around with the pineapple. I think the pineapple is what helps absorb that cake. And this is not what you would call, what you would call a low fat. This is a very high fat recipe.
But it's only once in a while, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, you wouldn't want. Yeah. And it's very rich. When you first take a piece, you go, oh, I'm going to take a scoop of that. Well, you eat it, and it's very, very rich. It's not the type of thing you can take a lot of. It fools you. All right, we got that all spread out, so now we're going to get out our pie. It's just a yellow cake mix. Any cake mix is fine, but make sure it's yellow.
Can you make your own cake and put it in there, batter and put it in here, you think?
Why do you want to make your own batter when
know.
I can buy it all made? Do we have a way to open this, Laura?
Let's see. We'll get a knife.
Okay. There's one right here, actually. Let me see.
Oh, okay. That'll work. That'll work.
That'll work. I just need something to make the hole. So what we do with this cake mix, if I can get it open a little better, is now we spread this all over the top. So you see, this is why we call it a dump cake. Everything's being dumped in this pan. And we're going to dump this all in and spread it out over the top of our mixture. All nice. So it's completely covered with this dry ingredient. It smells good, though.
It does.
Smells very good.
Can we tip it up? Maybe people can see.
Yeah. You can see how I spread that out. You can't see the pineapple. You can't see the pie filling. Everything's done. Now, here is the worst, most fat part. You melt 2 sticks of butter, and then you pour it all over the cake mix. Try to get the cake mix as saturated with the butter as you can, because you want as much of this cake mix wet.
Oh, I didn't think it was going to cover it all. It does.
Oh, yeah,
Good
it does. And what I do is I kind of tip the pan around if I see where it's dry, and I get it going where I want it.
Yep.
So I kind of, because if you play with it too much, you end up bringing the dry ingredient up. So I've got that pretty saturated.
That's good.
And we've already preheated our oven to 350. And we're going to put it in the oven just like this for 35 minutes. And then we'll check it, because at the end we add a couple of things for a topping.
Low fat, right?
Oh,
Low
yeah.
Fat topping?
Yeah. No.
Want me to put it
Okay,
in for
that
you?
can go right in the oven now.
All right.
And while that's in the oven, I'm going to make a truffle for you, which I don't know how many people know what that is, but we're going to show you. There. Now we could use a really big spoon. Truffle takes a lot.
Oh, okay. You need a bigger spoon?
A nice big one would be
Okay.
good. All right, we make a truffle in a bowl like this. Usually you can buy these right at the Christmas tree shop. And I have 2 sizes. This by rights is the small one. They have a great big one. So depending on how many people you have, like I'm going to Laura's this year for Thanksgiving, and she's going to have a crowd there. So I'm going to make the bigger truffle because they're very impressive to bring as a gift. So I'm going to make that.
That's such a pretty bowl.
So I'm going to start out. This takes a little work. You have to almost start the day before on this. I brought in brownies, pieces of brownie, and you start and you put this all in the bottom of the dish. Excuse my fingers, but they are clean. There. All right. And you can make this different ways if you want to put cookies on the bottom or whatever you want to put on the bottom, you can. But I like the brownies.
Is that chocolate and vanilla?
That's, I forget what they
White
call
chocolate?
it. No. I don't remember now what it was called. Okay, then you've got 2 kinds of pudding. And we're going to add the pudding right on top of the brownie. We're going to layer it so that it looks really pretty. There. And we need to open our Cool Whip. It's somewhere around here.
Okay.
Okay. We'll spread this around. There. That's good.
You want a separate spoon
no,
for that? No?
no. I'm going to add now my vanilla pudding. So we have a layer of vanilla and a layer of chocolate. And then comes the Cool Whip. That's my favorite.
And Cindy, you could probably, if you were really like watching and wanted to have a little lower calories, you could probably use the
sugar-free.
Sugar-free.
Mm-hmm.
And
sugar-free pudding. They have sugar-free Cool Whip now.
Yeah, and also I think they have some brownies too that might be, I don't know.
They might, yeah, I don't know.
Not, but it might cut down on the calories. So.
Yeah, and the sugar content.
Yes, and the sugar, yes.
But what fun is it? You know? Okay, now I want my Cool Whip. The pudding's a little thick.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. All right, this is the fun part. Now we're going to add that layer of whipped cream. You guys aren't going to like this after, huh? We have company here today that's going to eat some of these desserts for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
There.
Are you going to layer this?
Yeah.
Oh, you're layering it. Okay. Right.
Yep, that's layer one. All right, now what I need is on top of all this, we put some crumbled up Heath bar
Oh, here, you want me to
for
open it for you?
people who like candy.
yeah. I don't think you can get low-fat Heath bar.
No,
You?
it's no sugar-free.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
you've got to buy this in the
Maybe.
same aisle in the supermarket that you get your chocolate bits or anything like that would be where you would find this. And you layer that. So you get a nice sprinkle layer. There.
All right.
And you can kind of push that around too, because we want to make sure we have enough for the next layer. Okay, now we're going to start again with the brownie to make our next layer.
Looks pretty already.
There. What I was thinking you could do to make it pretty too is maybe get a jar of the cherries
Yeah.
and maybe
yeah.
just scatter a few of them around, because it wouldn't hurt anything.
And you could put nuts in it too, or
Well,
whatever you want.
I've got some nuts in the
Yeah,
brownies,
Oh,
so
good.
I figure for people like them. So if anybody's allergic to nuts, can't have it.
Don't eat it.
No, that must be awful.
Yeah,
I like
I
nuts.
do too.
And they say they're so good for you, but some people it isn't.
Nope.
Okay, let's get our
Pudding
chocolate pudding going. Scoop it right in now, because we're going to the... Oh, I made a mess over here. Oh, I'm a sloppy cook. Terrible. Oh,
That's all right, Cindy, because I see a lot of these cooks on TV, and they're not like years ago, you would see a woman on TV, she'd have an apron on, she'd be so neat and everything would be there. But now I notice, like even Rachel Ray, they just, you know, they're just like we're doing now, you know. So what, you spill something, you pick it up. You don't spill it at home? Of course you spill it at home.
never.
No?
No. No, I don't.
I do.
I don't spill it at home because I have to clean it up then,
Oh.
see?
Oh,
But if
so
I
you're
come here,
careful.
you'll clean it up,
Yeah,
see?
okay, I'll do it.
Yeah,
What are sister-in-laws for?
I know it. Oh. That's good. Yeah, so I can make a mess. So it's just a blob over here.
I just want to say that the top layer, the vanilla pudding,
It
is
is-
actually a cooked one. It would be better.
It's
with a-
cooked, but it's too thick. It's like you
Too
didn't
thick.
add enough milk or something.
Something,
I don't
yeah.
know. It shouldn't be this thick.
I measured it. I
Oh.
measured two.
I think you didn't have your glasses on
Maybe.
or something.
I usually
yeah.
do, 'cause I can't
Because it's
see,
not
but-
usually
Yeah,
thick
huh?
like this.
No,
It's
it's
usually more.
usually
It's
smoother.
usually more creamy.
I agree.
And she made a mistake and got the instant chocolate pudding, but actually in this case,
Yes,
it's come out better.
Better. It doesn't matter because you're going to put the Cool Whip on top, right?
Nobody's going to see it. I don't know how it's going to taste
Well,
because you made it wrong. That's all right. It's going to taste wonderful
Yes.
regardless.
yep.
Yeah, it looks good. And I've made these trifles using fruit, too. Layers
Yes.
of fruit. And I took pound cake and broke that up instead because fruit can get runny and that'll absorb it.
Yeah.
And then I put the fruit in with the whipped cream, but I skipped the candy. I didn't use that. And I think at the top I put strawberries on the top, and it was very good. People liked that too.
Yes, yes. I remember when you made that. My niece loved it. She asked me to make one for her birthday one time. She loved it so much.
Actually, why don't we just, I'm not going to put it all on, but we can put a little more. There. Okay, this is a wonderful trifle.
Good.
As I lick my fingers. That's the cook. All right, let's get some of this on the top.
Wow. That would look very nice on a table.
Oh, yeah. And if you want to get real fancy, you can put shaved chocolate on the top or
That's right.
or whatever you want. You can make it up however you like it. You can put a cherry on the top. You can put a strawberry on the
Or
top.
coconut on top. Huh?
Yeah, I'm not a big
wouldn't put-
coconut lover.
No?
I put it on my dump cake,
love
but
Yeah.
I'm not big on coconut, so there.
Yeah.
So we only needed one. Good.
Yeah, it's good.
All right,
Good.
that is what you call a truffle.
Yeah.
And it makes you walk in with that to somebody's house and say, here, I brought a dessert. Oh, man, nobody wants to eat. They like to dig right in. They come in, especially the men. Men love, oh, who made that? Oh, you got a spoon? They're ready to
Yes.
take right over. They like it.
And that's one dessert you can use with
Yeah.
a spoon. It's nice.
So between that and the dump, we're timing the dump cake, I hope.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, I guess, when it's done. Okay, I think we'll have time to just do
I
one.
think so. We'll
one
just
more.
clean up here a little bit. and
Okay, all right.
Get this stuff out of the way for you.
Okay. I was going to make two things, but I'm going to save the other one for maybe next month when we do the show. And that is vegetarian meatballs, something new. Oh, I wanted to mention that if you live in Lancaster, the area here where this is being filmed, on Monday evenings, there is a free cooking class. I mean, you get to taste so many wonderful things. Kathy, it's great. And I have learned some things. And what I did, of course, what I always do, is I learn something and then I change it to be me.
To suit you.
To suit me. And that's the way cooks do things, I guess. But anyway, I came and I got a recipe for vegetarian meatballs. And I add a lot of things in it. So you can make this as a spaghetti and meatballs. It holds together great, but we'll do it next month. But what I want to share with you is something that maybe now...
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, sure.
On that stew, the vegetable stew, you never did tell me what looked like meat, but wasn't. That was
Oh,
in
I
it.
have it here. I'm going to
Is that
show
the-
you.
Is that the
And
meatballs?
matter of fact, you get this at the ABC on Sawyer
Because
Street.
I really liked it.
Yeah. And they gave me this can. So it's nice that they,
Yeah.
I appreciated that very much. This is called Fried Chick Original. That's what I'm going to use in this recipe.
What is it?
Fried Chick,
Chick
Original.
Original, huh.
It's a delicious vegetarian alternative to chicken, but when I make it, it's almost like a beef
That was
stew.
very good. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of good things in it.
And
Soy.
I'm not vegetarian, but I liked that.
Yeah, good, good. There's a lot of good things in it. And of course, it's tasty. So what I want to say is that this has been a great thing for me to use, especially in the winter, anytime. If you're a busy housewife or you're a busy mother going out to work, just get up 10, 15 minutes earlier, put all your vegetables in here. That's what my daughter does with her family of 7. She just puts everything in there and cooks up
But
whatever
what's
she
our
wants.
excuse? We're retired.
I know. But we're busier now than we ever were. You kidding me? I'm busier now. Okay, so I'm going to start with what Cindy asked me for. And I put this in here. And I'm going to show you what one of these look like. My hands are clean. This is what it looks like. It's like almost like an oversized
Yeah, I know it. That
chick
looks-
thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I
But-
said to her, it looked like a beef stew when I
Right.
first saw it.
Right. But what I do with this, and I have some made, which I'm going to share with everybody, I just take it because I don't want to have it that big, and I quarter it. I can make it smaller too. So I might put 5 or 6 of these in here to get started. And I'm not going to plug it in because I'm going to use this for tomorrow, but I have one already made. We have, at our church, we have potluck every Saturday.
Saturday.
And so I'll have this made already today, which is good. And we have special meetings going on, so we have more people than usual. Okay, so I'm just going to cut them, and if you want them smaller or you want them bigger, hey, be my guest. Do whatever you want. It's your thing. You don't have to put in what I have suggested.
They're really amazingly good. I was surprised.
Yes, we went over to Cindy's last week and to visit. And we said, we'll bring dinner. And we brought this, and she really loved it.
Oh, it
really
was
loved
good.
It. Yeah. Yep. Nothing like vegetables. I think I have one or two more here. And it comes with a sauce. So you can put the sauce in if you want.
It comes with a sauce?
No, it does. Yeah, it does come with a sauce. And if you're making this by itself, which go ahead and do if you want, and you can thicken up the gravy. I'll just put a little in because I'm going to put something else in. So I'm going to put a little of that gravy in.
Yeah.
Not the whole thing. I'll put this over here. And now I put what everybody can cook, because to me, you put a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Now this week I put in a couple of potatoes.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, they'll really make it like a beef stew.
Yeah. So I'm going to cut some potatoes. Don't cut your fingers.
I never
Got to
do
be
that.
careful. Just cut them up. You could cut them up small. And this I keep on all day. And if I put it on high, or sometimes I'll put it after a while, after a couple of hours, I put it on low. It cooks pretty quickly. So, you might not have to have it on as long as you would like chicken or something, you know. Although probably chicken would go pretty quickly.
And speaking of cutting yourself,
yeah,
I found out one Thanksgiving when I found out that my mother-in-law at the time liked Hubbard squash better than she liked butternut.
Yeah.
So I went out and got Hubbard squash, except it's got a really hard shell on it, you know, the way it grows.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to do. So I'm trying to peel with a sharp knife this outer core of this squash. Well, I wanted to take my thumb off. I shook right through the knife went. Well, now I got pies cooking in the oven. The hand's bleeding like crazy. And I still haven't got the squash made. And my neighbor downstairs, actually, I lived in an apartment then. And she's, I'll take you to the hospital. So I said, but I got to wait till my pies come out of the oven. Couldn't leave them. So I walked around with a towel wrapped around my head. To
your hand?
Yeah, so that I could keep the blood from getting all over everything. And we did fine, and we got outside, and she had an old Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
So we got in, but to get the car started, you had to push it. And while you're running down the street, she jump-started the car. So we got to the hospital, and the doctor's laughing in the emergency room because he had just stitched up another woman who cut her hand opening a window. So I told him about the squash, and he said, didn't you know that you're supposed to cook it with the skin on, that hard outer shell on? He said, if you can, cut it into chunks, and then put it in a pan, cook it, and then when it's done, you can just scoop out the nice soft squash from inside and throw away the shell. So I said, I never knew that. And he said, well, see, you learned something from a doctor today. So.
And you know what? I did that with the butternut squash.
Did you?
Yeah, it came out great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's those things are so tough.
They are.
You can. I have cut
and
myself.
And the Hubbard is
plenty of
even
times.
worse.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great.
And then
I could eat it every day. I know. Yes.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
I just recently introduced myself to turnip. I love it.
I know.
I love it, but I could never buy one that wasn't bitter. But my sister gets one.
Put a potato. My mom said the same thing. You put a potato in it, it changes yes, the bitterness.
Well, anyway, my sister, the one that introduced me to dump cake, she's the cook in the family. She always got the best turnip. And I said, how do you know? She said, you get the one with the purple. Its outer shell is purple. She said, that's the one you get, sweet. And so she said the yellow one is she told me, is rutabaga or something. It's different.
Yeah.
So they call it turnip, but it isn't. So I said, okay. So I got that, and my God, it was so good. Oh, but what you do with that again is just cook it shell and all.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
then just peel it,
Yeah.
and we had it just recently, and it was good.
Good.
Even my
Yeah.
husband even ate it, and he's fussy about vegetables.
Here's a vegetable that's good for you.
Oh, yeah.
And you can cut it up any way you want. If you like, some people like to dice it. I just put them in,
Oh, yeah,
you know, because it's a good mouthful to have these.
Well, it's good.
Yeah, so I just put in plenty of carrots. They're good for you. Whoops. And then I have already pre-done some
Pre-cut.
my garlic, and because I cut it already, the Allison, which is good for you, is already there. So
Is that what it's called?
It's called, yeah. There's a special nutrient, something special called Allison, and so you want to cut it and leave it 10 minutes because that's when this.
That's at its best.
It's best.
But I buy it already cut in the jar.
That might be okay too. I don't know.
I'm too lazy to cut it.
And
I would never have the patience to cut it that small.
No.
That's why I don't make coleslaw. I haven't got the patience to chop up cabbage really small.
Now I'm going to put some celery.
Celery, yeah, good.
Celery in there.
Yeah, and
The
you're
little
like me. I
leaves.
use
the
leaves too.
Yeah, I
like
think that's
them.
good. Yeah. And then the only thing I didn't cut up, I'm going to cut up some. Oh, I'm going to put some corn in it.
Yeah.
And so we have a good combination. We have a good combination of color. We have yellow, we have green, we have the meat, and we have actually white.
And you're going to have
Did
the
I
peppers.
forget my? I may have forgotten my. No, you know what I forgot? But I can do it later. Of course, onion.
Oh,
Onion.
yeah, you need an onion.
Got to have an onion in it. So I'm going to use a little pepper, green pepper, and I'm going to use a little red pepper.
That'll give it more color.
Yeah, I did wash this at home, even though the little tag is still on it. But cut some up there. And then I have one more vegetable I'm going to put in it that really makes it taste, I think, very hearty. And I'll show you in a minute when I get this.
You know what I had yesterday? I was very disappointed.
Yeah?
I love a sausage with the peppers and onions sandwich. And I got one yesterday. There was a store downtown that had them on, special for the day. And it was tasteless. Did you ever have the peppers and the onions? You couldn't even, they had no flavor.
Oh.
I don't know why, whether he had them sitting around for a long time, but just nothing. Huh?
What kind of sausage was it?
Just a sweet Italian, but very
the
disappointed.
the Boca used to have a wonderful vegetarian sausage. It's not the meat itself; it's the spices that you put.
Well,
in.
that's
so you
it,
can
yeah.
you could very easily.
I just was disappointed because we sat and waited a long time for them too. I was getting ready to leave. I was so disappointed, but then to get home and have it be lousy like that.
Terrible, yeah. Well, that's the thing with food outside.
I know,
Sometimes
you don't
good,
know what you're
sometimes
gonna
not.
get.
You're better off making your own
Yep.
food. Not that going out to restaurants. I happen to like right in Sterling. I like that place, Kathy. The Meadowbrook Farms. Oh, the soup. They make
so good.
eggplant soup that was so good. I tried to duplicate it when I went home, and you know what? I didn't duplicate it exactly the way they did. I must be missing something. Oh,
It was when
I loved
we
it
got
too.
there, I went with Laura one day, and they were almost ready to close.
Yeah.
And they only had that soup, and they had some chicken, but only enough left for two. So the two men, of course, got that, the two brothers. So I'm saying, I don't know if I'm going to like eggplant soup. Oh, yuck, But it was all they had, and I was frozen. So I said, I'll take some. Oh, my gosh, was it good. It was delicious.
It was good. And I want to tell you something. I made that eggplant soup, and I put eggplant and peppers and onions and garlic, things I usually put in it. And mushrooms I put in it. And I think I put zucchini in it. and because I was trying to remember what
Yeah,
I
'cause they
ate
had other
at the
stuff.
place.
Yeah.
And do you know that I just finished it last night? I've had it like for 2 weeks. It tasted just as good as the day
The day
I
you
made
made
it.
it, yeah.
I was surprised, and the last week I kept eating it quite a bit for dinner with no bread or anything. I made some couscous and I put it in there. And do you know that when I went to Weight Watchers, I lost 2 pounds, and I know it was because of that.
Probably, yeah.
Couscous, yeah. It's very healthy for you, yes. Thank
Yeah, I
you.
know,
Thank
she's
you.
lost a lot of weight.
26 pounds already, so, and going. So I found I've been going to Weight Watchers for 35 years, and just like anything else, you fall off the wagon, you gain weight,
Oh,
you lose,
yeah,
but
I'm a lifetime member and I'm huge.
yeah.
So-
But you know, you would be even heavier if you didn't, follow it. It's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Now
Okay.
what are you adding?
My last ingredient
Oh,
is
string
whole
beans.
green beans. So I might just put a half of this package in there. And now here's the thing that I think gives it a good flavor.
I don't know, is
I
it
put
that?
a little bit of my just spaghetti sauce in it, and it gives it that nice red. But if you didn't want to use that, use tomatoes. You could use tomatoes. Oh, and I put a bay leaf in it, and I also put oregano in it, on top of that. So I might put half of this in
What
there.
you could do
Whoops.
is add they have the stock that you can buy,
Yes.
chicken stock, and so
Yep.
you could probably get a vegetable stock maybe.
Yes, I do have
And
it at
then they
home.
have, and then you could add to that the package of Knorr's vegetable.
Yes, yes.
Yes, soup thing, and that would be good. That would really give it flavor.
I'm just looking for something that I can
What?
put the, let's see.
What do you want to
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take this and I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to add some water. Just, you have to eyeball it, really. Maybe half of that, and just to give the
Well, do you want to thin it out a little?
I want to thin it out. But if you want to make it a soup, you go ahead and make it a soup. But if you would like to make it more like a stew, here's what I have been doing. I put a little bit of cornstarch in it. Now, when you're messing around with cornstarch, make sure you put it in a cup separate from this. Because one time I dumped it in and it looked like I had stripe or something in there. It was like gluey. So what you want to do is, you want to take a little cup, and put water in it, stir it up, make sure then you might have to add a little bit more of cornstarch to make it thick, and then pour it in and it'll be great. It'll just give it that little,
But don't pour it in by itself. You want to add that water.
Right, right. That's right. You're
And
right.
stir it good.
Because
and then add it.
I did that one of the times, and it was.
Well, I've done
it
that
all
with
clumped
flour,
together.
and flour will do the
No,
same
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
It
yeah.
clumps if you don't
Yep.
water it down.
So this is ready for me. It didn't really take that long, did it?
No.
Maybe 10 minutes. We did a lot of talking, but
Yeah.
You
But
could do
still,
this
we've
in
made
10
two
minutes.
desserts and a stew, and we've still got about 15 minutes before that cake comes out. So
Yeah. So, so
yeah.
that's that. And this is what it looks like when it's
it's
done. Okay, this is it came from my home, so it's a little shook up a little bit, but I'll put it in the microwave and you can try it and taste it.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah. So the next time I think we'll do those vegetarian meatballs. I don't know what else we'll do, and it was very nice of you to allow us into your home to share this and to be with you. And I guess if you have any
Are we going to have
questions,
time to finish the cake?
yeah, we do.
The dump cake, because we've
Yeah.
still got the toppings
Yeah.
to put on. So.
Well, if anybody
got-
has any questions, they can always get in touch with the station, or they need a recipe, and we'll be happy to get a recipe to you that you might want to
No, that's
enjoy.
not.
No, it's not done yet,
No,
but,
yeah, not by a long shot.
well, yeah, I think we'll have to close off.
Yeah, I think so.
Believe me, trust me, this is a good cake. I've had it.
And when I take it
Yeah.
out, at the end of 35 minutes, I take it out. The cake is pretty much, it's done. It looks like it's finished. But what I do is I put a little coconut on the top and some crushed walnuts. And you put that all over the top and then put it back in the oven, for about 10 minutes until the coconut starts to just get a little bit brown. And that's your topping, and then you take it out and it's done.
Yeah.
So, but we may not have enough time to wait for
Yeah,
it today because
yeah.
it looks like it's slow.
Oh, yeah.
That oven might not be up to
Maybe
snuff.
next time.
Yep, but that's it for today, I
Okay,
guess. We've
yes.
got 2 desserts and a stew done in less than an hour.
Yes.
So that's
We're
pretty
good.
good.
Okay.
We've been doing this. All right, we'll see you again the next time.
Thank you.